the NYPD touting its success in dramatically reducing gun violence. Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch revealing the city's latest crime statistics yesterday. According to data from the NYPD, the first 5 months of 2025 saw the lowest number of shootings and homicides in recorded history. And in the month of May alone, shootings and homicides at the lowest level of any May on record. Joining us now is CBS News law enforcement contributor and former deputy commissioner with the NYPD, Mr. Richard Esposito. Richard, good to see you. So what strategies or tactics from the NYPD do you think are making the biggest impact here?
I think there are several important strategies. Getting illegal guns off the street, which they've done a really good job at, and that reduces the opportunity. And then putting repeat offenders behind bars, paying very close attention to the bail laws. And there's the Gun Violence Strategy Task Force, which really focuses on yesterday's crime and seeing how bad that person was and getting recidivists back behind bars before they can do it again.
Mayor Adams was talking yesterday during the press conference, 3,000 guns, it's kind of what you alluded to, taken off the streets over the last year, which is a huge number right there. Yeah. City leaders credit both gun enforcement and investments in community programs. How critical do you think that's been?
Community programs, if you had two neighborhoods and one didn't have a community program and one did, it's sort of akin to what the Chicago Crime Lab called the empty spaces thing, which is if one neighborhood has a lot of empty places for youth and violence and another doesn't, that other neighborhood will have a lower crime rate. Community involvement plays that role. It helps divert and it helps deter.
Richard, we always talk about this when it gets warmer out there. There tends to be more shots fired. It's a time when violence often rises, obviously, not only tempers, but temperatures. So how does the NYPD approach that, knowing now, especially you got a time like tomorrow where it's going to ramp up? You hate to just make crime associated with what the temperature outside is, but it is proven that when it is hotter out there, there's more people out there and more things do tend to happen.
Yeah, it's pretty historically documented that when it gets hotter, there's more crime. More people are on the street. And what the PD is doing, it's not just focusing on specific neighborhoods, it's focusing on specific parts of specific neighborhoods. So neighborhoods in the Bronx and Brooklyn have always been identified as having a good deal of violence. And now the police department's data-driven methods are narrowing it down to where the crime might be today and get there before the crime occurs. It's a very smart strategy.
With all the good news that's in this study, there is always a couple of caveats as well. One being the youth gun violence has jumped, that category. Here's what Commissioner Tisch had to say about that yesterday. I'm going to play this first.
2018 to 2024, the number of children under the age of 18 arrested with a gun increased by 136% in New York City. This all went off the rails when the first part of New York State's Raise the Age law took effect in 2018. The legislation changed both the age of criminal responsibility and the way that teenage offenders are processed in our courts.
So what is the Raise the Age law, and do you agree that it's made things more difficult for police?
I think it's always difficult to take a complex idea and put it in a few words, as we both know. New York was one of a handful of states that didn't have 18 as the majority, five states or less. The Raise the Age law has any number of loopholes where you can prosecute a minor. But what happened was, while they raised the age, that might be applauded by some or many, they did not put into place all of the things that can serve as an alternative to incarceration. So if you can't put someone in jail, and you haven't built a robust network, and they have not, it doesn't work. And as some criminologists will tell you, there's nothing more dangerous than a 15-year-old with a gun. They don't have a tomorrow. Their brain isn't finished developing. The risk is high. So I think Commissioner Tisch addressed part of the issue.
Well, Richard, we thank you again for taking a couple moments for us. That's our CBS News law enforcement contributor, Richard Esposito. Good to see you, as always.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Richard. For more of our conversations with Richard on public safety, head to our website, cbsnewyork.com.